Yeah. So these are the data which we have used yesterday, like URL, browser, and valid username and password. And also we have seen the locator, how to get the locator to do inspect element, and these are the locator. So we have used the ID as a locator, username, and also ID as a password. And this is the submit button. So we have taken the ID, and we were able to provide the user ID, password, and able to submit it. And also we have applied the assertion there, right? So after the login successful, there will be message login successful. So that assertion will is also there. So once we will get to the login, then it will wait element is visible. It will wait for the 5 seconds for the loading, or if in between it will be loaded like 1 or 2 seconds, so it will directly validate this assertion message like a login successful. Okay, so today we are going to see like how to create the keywords and keywords. So keywords is nothing but is a method, as I told you yesterday. Keywords like it will be the similar where we have defined the function or method in the Java and Python. So similarly we need to define the keyword here. So let me show you the how we can create the keywords. Okay. Yeah. So keyword, how we can define it? So for the keyword, we as we know, like we have the four major section in robot framework. One is setting, another one is variable, third one is test case, and fourth one is keyword. So inside the keyword section, we will define our custom keyword. So what is the purpose of this keyword? So keyword is basically we are defining for the reusability purpose, and we don't want to directly write the code in the test case. Okay, so because whenever we will do like Jira upload or something, when you will upload the test cases in Qtest or Zephyr, then in that case what will happen, that code will also reflect there. Okay, so we don't want to show the code to the management. So and also we want to organized and maintainable code. So that's why it is required to create our keywords. Okay, we will not write the code directly inside the test case. Okay, so inside the test case only it will be the test case name, that will be the scenario name. Okay, and here it will be the steps. Okay, and this is the documentation. I did not explain you the documentation. So the documentation is nothing but to write the documentation you have to use this keyword. It will be the square bracket, and inside it you have to write the documentation. So documentation you can define at the multiple level. One level is the keyword level, one level is the test case level. Suppose this case is related to the login functionality. Okay, so we are validating it here. User is able to log in or not with the valid credentials. So you can maintain the documentation. Okay, what is the purpose of this test case? So you can maintain the documentation here. Also documentation you can maintain on the suite level. So how you will define the documentation at the suite level? So in suite level defining, you have to write the documentation in the setting section. So that documentation will be applicable for the entire suite. Suppose this login check.robot has the total 10 number of test case. So that documentation which will applicable for the all the 10 test cases. Okay, so there is one difference when you are defining the documentation at the suite level or the test case level. So when you will define the documentation at the suite test case level, then you have to write the documentation inside the square bracket. Okay, but when you will do the documentation at the suite level, then that square bracket is not required. So that is the one difference. That is the syntax difference that you have to maintain it. So this is the for the suite level, and this is for the test case level. Also you can define the documentation at the keyword level. Okay, so suppose suppose this keyword you have defined it and you want to add the documentation it here, what is the use of this keyword, then you can maintain it here also. Okay, that so at the three level you can define the documentation. So this as I told you, this login with credential. This is the one keyword. So keyword, suppose if you are working on the TestNG or Cucumber or any other framework which supports the Java and the Python, then you have to define the methods or function. But here we are not going to write the directly code in Java or Python. We will use the keyword only. Okay, so here there are two things. You have to write, you have to write your own keyword, which is the custom keyword. Suppose we have the in number of keyword which you have defined. That keyword also you can reuse inside this keyword. Okay, inside this keyword, and also which will comes from the other library which you have imported in the settings section. That keyword also you will use. So few of the keyword will come from the Selenium library also. So whatever you have defined the custom keyword, you can reuse in your another custom keyword, and also whatever you will implemented or imported the library, that keyword also you can use in the custom keyword. So what we are doing here, login with the credential. Okay, so login with the credential, we have seen this is open browser for the launching the application, where we need to provide the user ID, sorry, URL and browser name. So URL we have defined in the variable section. You can see this is the URL base URL we have defined in the variable section. So this is the one scalar variable where we have defined the URL. Similarly for the browser name also. So we want to launch in the Chrome browser, so which we have defined it here. Okay, right? So this is for the launch purpose. Okay, it will open your browser. Now it will maximize your browser and wait until element is visible. So this assertion will verify like your application has launched or not. Or suppose there is some load time is required there, your application is taking time to load, like 5 seconds, 2 seconds, or 1 second. Okay, so then you can add it here. Otherwise what will happen, it will directly, it has some wait time by default. Okay, in robot framework, but suppose in that period it is not loading your application, then in that case what it will happen, it will be fail, right? Title should be, it will try to find out the title, that is the test login practice test automation. So in particular time of period it will not loaded your page, then in that case your validation will be failed, your assertion will be failed. Like this title is not loaded, that means your application is not launched properly, right? So that's why this synchronization is required. So we will not do like hard coded or something. If you will do like slip, you can do it slip like 10 seconds. Okay, you can do it. But what is this? This is the hard coded wait. Okay, suppose your application is loaded 2 or 3 seconds and you have added the slip 10 seconds. So what will happen, your application is ready within the 2 or 3 seconds, right? But you have added the 10 seconds. So what will happen, it will wait for the 10 seconds, and then after it will proceed with the next validation. Okay, here we are validating the title. So we don't want to waste the 7 seconds, right? So if you will add here as a 10 second, so what will happen, this 10 second is a maximum wait time. Okay, if your application, this page is loaded in 2 or 3 seconds, then it will not wait for the 10 seconds. If it is loaded and it is visible, then it will proceed with the next step. Okay, so you can save your 7 seconds. Okay, so suppose you have the 1000 test script for the regression, then you can understand like how much time you can save it. So that's why this hard coded slip or wait is not recommended. Okay, in some rare case where this will not work, or like your page, like your element is available in the DOM. Okay, but suppose you want to click somewhere and that is not enabled, but it is showing available in the DOM, then in that case you will face some kind of issue. Then in that case in that case also there is a solution, wait until element is available. That is one assertion. Another assertion you can apply like wait until element is enabled. Okay, where we need to click it. Okay, so this also you can use as a assertion where we can wait it. Okay, sometimes what will happen, your page is like this locator is visible, but that your page is not loaded properly, so we need to verify that should be enabled, that button. Okay, so you can add it. So generally I would suggest don't use this slip, but in some rare case you have to use it in the live in real time scenario. Okay, so this is about the synchronization. Now there is one another new thing which we didn't discuss yesterday, that is the title. Okay, so how you can verify the any application of a title? So there is a one keyword, that is the title should be, okay, where you need to provide the title. So what we are doing here, we are directly giving this title in the code, okay, which is also not recommended. This should not be hard coded. Suppose in future your application title is going to change, so what you have to do, you have to go and change in the code, okay, and which is not correct. If any test data is going to change or any locator is going to change, it doesn't mean like we will go in the code and we will change the code, okay. So always make it like you have to keep inside the variable where we are storing the test data and locator. So this should also available inside the variable section. So what we will do, we will define inside the variable in the variable section as a test data. Okay, so this should be available inside the variable. So now we will give it here, what is the title. So in future if anything will change with the title, then we are not going to change in the code, we will directly change in the test data. And this test data and locator also, when you will create the page object model, okay, when we will create the framework, that this variable, whatever variables which you have stored for the locator or for the test data, that will also segregated, okay, when you will create the page object model. So this for all the test data there will be one separate file, okay, that will be the resource file. I will explain you what is the resource file. And also this is for the locator, all the locator we will keep inside the one another file. We will not keep everything inside the one file, okay, when we will create the framework. So that is the purpose. We cannot write anything which is the test data or locator directly in the page definition. So this login check dot robot, what will happen in the future? So you know like what is the page object model. So inside page object model, each page in your application, suppose you have the 10 pages, okay, so for the each page there will be one separate separate dot resource file will be there, okay. So that is the page object model, okay. So so we need to keep we need to segregate each file, okay, for the like for the each page there will be one file, and we will define the all the keywords related to that page. Similarly for the each page locator there will be one another resource file, and also for the test data there will be separate files, okay. So everything we will segregate when we will create the framework, but for the learning purpose we are defining everything inside the one robot file only. So here we have defined this title, app title, and this is the for the user ID and password we have already discussed. This will click on the submit button, and this is the session. Once it will be submit, then this will land to the we will get the success message, and then after this should be visible, okay. And this we can remove it, but to see the application how it's launching and what success message you will get, I added for the visibility purpose, but this is not required, okay. We will remove it. And this is the page should contain, this is for the logout. Once suppose we have performed the n number of actions and your validation is done, then at the time at the last we will log out. So this logout also will come under the test what we can say test tear down. So this will also will be the one separate keyword. We will not write inside the login with credential, okay. So this will also part of set test tear down. So there are four things, as I told you yesterday. There is suit setup, test setup, and test tear down, and suit tear down, okay. I will explain you what it is. So this is the one thing which we have discussed yet. Now, so let me run this first test case, how is successful login with the valid credential, okay? So this is the one scenario for the login functionality. Yeah, you can see it has been logged in successful, right? So you can see this test case have been passed. You can see all those information, what are the steps it has been performed, that also you can see in the console, okay? So suppose if anything which will pass, it will come as an info, okay? If anything fail, that will come as an error. So that you can quickly check in the console or terminal, okay? So this is the one steps which is performing, okay? Typing text as a username, a student, then password, okay? Then it's a, what it is, temporarily setting log label, okay? Then it's checking the button is there or not, clicking on the button, and then it's displayed this successful message, okay? And then we have hard coded the 5 seconds, so it's waiting, and then it's verifying a login with the credential, then it's login with the credential successful, okay? So let me open the report. Yeah, you can see it's taken like around less than 1 second, okay? So it's a, this is the time where we can see these are the steps it has been performed, okay? And it has been passed. Okay, what can be the another scenario? This is the happy part where we are validating with the valid credential. There should be one another test case where we want to validate the error message, okay? Suppose you will enter the invalid credential, then what will happen? The, if you will add any wrong credential, then definitely it will come like invalid user or something, right? So that is the one another test case, we can check it. So here we are verifying like login with the wrong credential with the valid error message, okay? So what we have done in this keyword, and one more thing, suppose you want to navigate from one layer to another layer, just do the control click, okay? So you need to press the control and you will click there, then you will directly land to the keyword where you have defined your code, okay? So this is the login with the wrong credential and valid error message. So everything will be same, like open browser, maximize, title. So once it will launch the application, this will be the title, okay? This is also hard coded, but we have replaced there. Okay, now this is the user ID where we are providing user ID, and this is the password, but this time we are not going to give the correct password. So this is the invalid password. So what is invalid password? Actual password is password 123, but we are giving the wrong password, so it's a wrong password 123. So definitely it should throw some error. So once you will enter the wrong password and then click on the submit button, then there will be one exception will be there, okay? So this is the wait until element is visible. So what is wait until element is visible? So inside, sorry, so what is this error message? What error message it will come? So we have taken the locator, okay? We are not for we are identifying like that particular locator should come for the error message. So let me check what error message will come if we will give the wrong ID and password. Okay, I'm adding one more character. So one W I have added for the wrong password, okay, and when we are submitting it, okay, so what will happen? You can see your password is invalid. So how you can inspect this and how you will get the locator? So see, this is the locator id equals to error, okay. So this is the one way you can identify. First, this locator should be visible, okay, and then after also you can verify this your password is invalid. So there are two ways, okay. First, it will wait for this locator and then it will verify this message, error message is correct or not. Okay, so we are verifying this id as a error. So we have taken id and which we will validate as a wrong credential, okay. So wait until element is visible. So this is the locator. So for this locator, what we are going to validate? So there is one another keyword is introduced here, that is the element text should be. So what it will do? So in element text should be, you have to pass the locator. So from where you want to verify that particular text, okay. So this will be the locator you have to pass, and this is your error message, valid error message. Your password is invalid, okay. So in this locator, it will validate this should be the message, and where this message is there. So this message is available in the locator. So this is here. So it will validate it's a valid error message or not. Let me run this test case, okay. Yeah, this is the error message. It is showing I have added some weights, so that's why you are able to see it. Otherwise, it will be very quickly, you will not able to see it. So you can see I have added 5-second wait here. So now you can see it. Once I will refresh the log, then you can see login with the invalid credential. Okay, what we are verifying element. This is the element id here, where we are verifying like contains exact text. Your password is invalid. So this is the one negative scenario we have tested it here. Okay, any doubts on this which I have explained you? For the one positive and one negative scenario for the login. Okay, okay, I'm taking as a no doubts. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Please give me your feedback, okay. I'm going fast, or like it's okay, you are uh, you are getting me, right? Okay, yeah, thanks Sumit, and thanks Suresh. Okay. So this is the one thing. Also, see one more thing here. What sorry, this is the hard coded XPath, okay. This will not be recommended, okay. So this should also inside the locator, okay, where you are defining the locator. But for the learning purpose, I just written it over there, okay. But that will come inside the locator section. We will not directly write the XPath inside the page definition. Suppose this is the page definition file, okay. Test case is also separate in one another file, and this is the resource file. So in resource file, you cannot directly write the XPath. And also this invalid error message, that also you cannot pass in directly write in the code. This should be the part of test data, okay. It will not be available inside the code. So if any for the invalid error message, if anything will change in the future, then it will not be maintainable. Okay, it will take time. You have to find out the keywords, method, and then you have to update the code. If anybody don't have the knowledge of the code, then in that case it will be difficult for them. Okay, so this test data you have to write inside the test data section. Okay, inside the variables. Okay, so now there is also one thing. Okay, you can make it uh, more parameterized also. Okay, so suppose something you want to change. Suppose this login functionality is not only for your user ID. Okay, sometimes you need to log in with the different user. Okay, so generally what you will happen, whatever code you have done, you have to keep it in the version control. Suppose GitHub or Bitbucket. Okay, so in that case you will only commit and push the where you are keeping the user ID and password. Okay, in the config file or maybe any other file. Okay, but you are not actually, you are going to commit or push your actual user ID and password. Okay, so in that case that user ID and password, it will not work for the uh, other other member who will execute the test case. Suppose you are the automation tester and functional team is going to run this. Okay, so in that case you are not going to share your user ID and password, so they have to provide their own credential, right? So in that case what you can do, you can make it parameterized. Okay, so if you will do the hard coded, then in that case it will be easy. It will be difficult to execute it. So you need to make it parameterized. So what you can do, you can make it user ID and password as a parameter, and that user ID and password will come for the one particular config file, or maybe where you are keeping the user ID and password. Okay, so that should be the parameterized. So how we can do the parameterized? How we don't want to do the like static. Okay, so now this argument will come into the picture. Okay, and also this generally it is recommended to don't do the hard code anything. Okay, there are two things in the real time. There will be one will be the static data, one will be the dynamic data. So static data is not going to change for the any user, but dynamic data which is required like for the every cycle or for the, it will depend on the user who is going to run it. Okay, so for the dynamic data you have to make it parameterized. So parameterized, you can pass from one keyword to another keyword, and also you can pass parameter from the test cases. Okay, sometimes you have to directly, suppose you are working on the BDD robot framework. Okay, so robot framework, BDD also supports. So you want to pass your user ID and password from the BDD from the given when and then. Okay, and that is the parameterized. So you have to make it parameterized through the arguments. So what is arguments in robot framework? So to make the parameter and you can pass the parameter through the test case from one keyword to another keyword, we will use this arguments. Okay, so arguments you have to define inside the square bracket, and it should always will be the first line of the keyword. Okay, so you can use you can say this argument as a user ID. This is the first argument, and second argument is a password. Okay, so it's the same where you are defining a function, and you are making it parameter where you are passing the integer string. So similar, you have to pass it here, user ID and password as an argument. So once you will call this keyword, then you have to pass this user ID and password, otherwise it will be error. Okay, so you can see I'm using this time, everything will be same for the login application, but only it's a parameterized. So we are using, when we are doing the input text, then we are using a username. So from where it is coming, from the argument only, and also for the password is coming from the arguments only. Okay, so this is the parameterized. You have to do it in the real time. Okay, so you can see how I am passing from the test case. So see, successful login using the arguments. Okay, so you can see this is the test case name where we are passing the valid user ID and valid password. Okay, this can be a scalar variable and it can be also the list variable. You can suppose you don't know, sometimes you have to pass the five argument and sometimes 6 7. Okay, so in that case you can also make it list argument, but here we are passing a user ID and password only. So you can see, so let me run with this password with this argument. So nothing is going to change. It's the same functionality we have automated where we are doing the login as a first test case. So only we make it parameterized. Okay. Okay. Any doubt on this parameterization? Okay. No doubt. Good. Okay. So we have seen like how we can invoke a Chrome browser or any other browser using the open browser keyword. But there is a also feature in Robot Framework where you can initialize the Chrome driver, okay, or WebDriver, and you can launch the browser, okay. So you have seen like if you have familiar with the other framework where we are in, if you are working with the Selenium Java or like Selenium Python, then you have to first to launch the application, first of all you have to initialize the WebDriver, okay, where you have seen like driver equals to webdriver.chrome, okay. So similarly you can do the Robot Framework also. We have the keyword in Robot Framework to initialize the browser. There are two ways you can launch the application. One is the open browser, another is the first you will initialize the Chrome driver and then you will open the URL through the one go to keyword. Okay, I will show you how you can do it. So this will be the first test case to initialize the Chrome driver and we will launch our application. Okay, so see, this is the test case. Create WebDriver this for the basic Chrome. Okay, create WebDriver basic Chrome. So let me navigate to this keyword, what we are doing there. Okay, so this is the documentation I have already explained you, and this is the create WebDriver. So create WebDriver is a one keyword, okay, to initiate the Chrome. Let me show you the official documentation for this. So create WebDriver keyword comes under the Selenium library. So once you will search inside the Selenium library documentation, then you will see this create WebDriver. So these are the arguments you can pass it when you will do the create WebDriver, and you can see about this. What is the create WebDriver? So create WebDriver is nothing but it's a create an instance of the Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So how you can use it? So see, this is the keyword create WebDriver, and this is the browser name Firefox, where you can pass the list of argument which is defined it here. Okay, so we have seen this open browser, but we did not use the create WebDriver. So this time, first of all, we will initialize. We will have the instance of the WebDriver, and then we will launch our application. Okay, so this is the create WebDriver where we are passing the Chrome. So this create WebDriver accept one and more than one one argument, okay, where we need to pass the Chrome, and also you can pass the other parameter like proxy and all. Okay, And this is the one another keyword, that is the go-to keyword. So in go-to keyword, you have to pass the web URL. Let me show you the go-to also. Okay, so this is the go-to URL, and it accepts only one argument, which is the URL. So what is the use of this go-to? Navigate to the current browser window to provide the URL. Okay. So here we are passing only URL, which we have defined it here. So let me run this test case. We are not giving anything maximize or something. Okay, so it will not going to maximize your browser. Only it will initialize your browser and it will launch your application. So initialize in the sense it will just launch the Chrome browser, and where it will hit this URL. Okay, but it is not going to maximize or anything, and there is no any other validation. So it is just basic one, while like we are doing the initializing and hitting the URL. Let me open the first test case, first example. So you can see this is initialized, and where it hits the URL. So this is the URL, but it is not going to maximize or any other validation. Okay. I hope you are getting me. This create WebDriver. This one, first one. Not this one, sorry. Yeah, this one. Okay. Let me give you the second example. So this is very, very important in real time. Okay. In our industry now, you know, we are not going to run anything locally. You have to run your all the test cases, whatever you have done for the smoke regression or inline automation, you have to run in the as a CI/CD on the Jenkins DevOps tool or any other tools. Okay, so this headless is required. So in headless, what will happen? So it will run everything same as a open browser, but it will run in the background. You will not see the interface, but it doesn't mean it will not able to capture the screenshot. So whatever you will see in the open browser, similarly same screenshot it is able to capture it. Okay, it is not something like it will run in the background that UI will not open and you will not able to see it. Then how it will capture the screenshot? No, in background it will capture the same whatever you will see in the interface. So headless is very, very important to run on the Linux or Jenkins platform. Suppose you are running on the Windows, but sometimes you have to run on the Jenkins, and that will the Linux or Unix machine. Okay, so you have to run in the headless. Maybe there will not be any interface or something. Okay, so that's why it is required. This headless you can do with the both open browser, also with the create WebDriver. It is not something like this is only available with the create WebDriver. Okay, so this headless, I'm going to give you one example. So what is the difference between create WebDriver or with the headless? Okay, so as I told you, like create WebDriver accept one or more than one arguments. Okay, so it will be same where we want to do this validation in Chrome, but this is not going to launch your Chrome browser. Okay, it will be in headless. So how we can do it? So we will add another argument that will be the options. Okay, so options equals to you can add the n number of arguments. Okay, as per your requirements. Sometimes it for the certificate, sometimes it will be for the headless, sometimes it will for the proxy and all. Okay, so options equals to we are going to add one argument that will be the hyphen headless. Okay, inside the parenthesis in the double quotes, and there is another argument you can add, that is the disable GPO. So it will work as it will run in the headless mode. You will not able to see any interface. So we are doing same thing, go to is launching the URL, okay, and slip some weight is there, but when I will run with this keyword, then you will not see the any interface. Let me show you. And even when suppose it happened, str object move attribute capabilities cannot capture. Okay, there is some error. Okay, let me remove this one. I don't know, there is some changes in the new robot framework or what. Let me try once again. Okay, there is some error. Okay, we have to fix it. But this is the way where you can do the headless. I don't know, there is some changes in the syntax or what, but this is the way. Let me check one second. Let me ask to Gemini. What is the error message we are getting? See, I can directly check with the Copilot, which we have already in PyCharm, okay, but that I have already adjusted my free version, so I'm not able to do it. So I can check with the Copilot also, with the Gemini also. This issue is how we are passing to the argument. Okay, let me try with this one. What it is. So what it has been changed? Okay. Call method. Okay, there is some changes is there. Okay, here where we are just defining it evaluates sys.module, and where we are defining selenium.webdriver, there is a Chrome option. Okay, so this one another line has been added. Okay, and it's directly passing add argument as a headless. So this is not going to change. This will be remain same. Okay, and then it's doing the this option we are going to add it here. Okay, directly. So it is not directly adding as an argument as a headless and all, and this one extra line has been added. So let me try with this one. It's working or not. Yeah, now this time it has been passed. So what it happened, you did not see anything in the interface, right? So what it's doing is launching the application and waiting for the 5 second or 10 second, okay, which you have given the wait, but you are not able to see the browser. It's running in the headless. That means it's running in the background. So you can see, you can open the logs and you can see it. Sorry. So see, it is launched the application, okay, but you are not able to see that interface. So that is the beauty of headless. Okay, now another thing that I want to show you in incognito mode. That also you can work it, create WebDriver with the option. Okay. Also, you can run in the different browser. Okay. Every time I have shown you in the Chrome browser itself, but we can run in the Firefox also. So what you need to do, you just need to change the browser name. So this time it is a Firefox, so it will run in the Firefox. So suppose your requirement is run in the Firefox, not in the Chrome browser, then you can change it. So now this time you can see it is running in the Firefox, not with the Chrome browser. So you just need to change the browser name. Okay, when you are initializing the Chrome driver, initializing the WebDriver. Okay. Okay. Synchronization, assertion, and error validation we have already seen. For the synchronization, we have used wait until element is visible. Okay, and this is assertion. So for the assertion, we have validated the success message and also the error message. Okay, so these are the things we have already covered. And for the positive scenario and negative scenario, for the positive scenario, we are able to log in with the valid credential, and also we are able to validate the error message when we are logging with the invalid credential. So these are the few keywords which we have used. Login should contain. So login should contain. It will be. It will check this message should be there. Page should contain the element. That means particular page when you will load that particular element should be there. Okay. So these are the few keywords which we have used. Element should be visual. Element text should be visual. So for particular locator, that particular text should be there. Okay. So these are the validation we have done for the validation and analysis. For the creating user defined and custom keyword, we have seen we have defined the custom keyword inside this. So these are the custom keyword which we have defined inside the keyword. Okay. So there is one more thing I did not explain you. This is the tear down. Okay. So test setup and test tear down you can define and the test case label. So if you will write inside the test case like test tear down or test setup, then it will be inside the test case section. Setup. Okay. This is the test setup and test tear down, and also there will be shoot setup which will come inside the shoot setup. Okay, suppose create WebDriver basic Chrome and shoot tear down. Okay, so in shoot setup, suppose every time you need to launch the Chrome browser, okay, and you need to hit the URL. You don't want to include to launch the application in your test case, okay, because this is the common steps which you need to perform the each and every test case. Suppose we have the total 5 test cases, then you don't want to add the launch application and hit the URL, launch browser and hit the URL. So in that case, it you can run in the shoot setup. So shoot setup will always run when it will run each and every test cases, then it will run that particular that keyword before running the test case. Okay, so it will apply for the each and every test cases before running the actual steps. Okay, so this is the shoot setup. What is shoot tear down? So shoot tear down, once suppose we have the 10 test cases inside one shoot. Okay, so for once all the test cases will be completed, then after at the last it will run the shoot tear down. So shoot tear down, you want to close all the browser. It can be like, suppose you are doing the web application automation, then for all the test cases, and you definitely you will close the browser, right? So you can add it here like close browser, close all browser. Okay, so it will close all the browser after all the test cases run. So that will be the part of shoot tear down. And also I can give you one another example. Suppose you are working with the database automations. Okay, every time once you have run all the test cases, like suppose you have the 5 test cases for the database validation, and at the last you need to do the disconnect the database. Okay, and and um, and suppose any other validation is there which is required after all the test cases. So you can keep it inside the test shoot tear down. So shoot tear down only it will run that particular keyword which will come inside the shoot tear down, only it will run when all the test cases run will be completed the execution. Okay, so this is the one thing, shoot setup and shoot tear down. So shoot setup will run for the each test case before running the actual steps, and shoot tear down will run at the end of the all test case execution. So you got it right. And what is the test setup and test tear down? So test setup will always run before running the test case. So test setup will apply only on a specific test case. Suppose a particular setup you want to run for the first test case only, you don't want to run the consecutive test cases. Okay, so you need to only define in the particular one a specific test case. So you can add it here, setup. Okay, suppose you don't want to launch every time application. Okay, it is already launched and you want to hit the URL, so that will come inside the setup only. So first time only you will hit the URL, right? For the consecutive steps, suppose it is dependent on the first test case, it is not independent test case. Generally it is recommended make it independent test case. So suppose first test case will fail, then it will not depend on the second test case and it will not harm the second test case, and there will be no any impact. But suppose you have defined dependent test case, then in that case you have to write the setup inside the first test case only. So setup is not only for the dependent test case or something, but suppose this you want to do for the specific test case and don't want to with the other test case, then you have to define inside the setup only, inside the one test case. So that is the test setup. So shoot setup will applies for the all the test case, and test setup will applies only for the specific test case. What is the tear down? Test tear down or tear down? So tear down will apply only for this particular test case. Once all the steps will be executed, at the end this will close the particular browser. Okay, working tab or something, or database disconnected or something. Okay, so it will apply only for the particular test case. Once it is not something like you have defined the tear down here, and that will also apply to the other test case. So for the test tear down, you have to write it separately for the each test case. Okay. So we have seen like custom keyword, and also the suit setup, suit tear down, test setup, and test tear down. This already we have covered the best practice. Now one of the most important topic we are going to start, how we can segregate our custom keyword, okay, and what is the resource file. So before starting it, if anybody has any question, then please raise it. Sumit, Prasant, Sagar, rest all, any question?
Sometime in case if you are encountering strict mode violation, you are mentioned get by text, right? The
Sir,
same text matching in two places. So conflict with one another, and how we are going to handle that one, Keshav.
which one? Sorry, I'm going.
So we are using some get by text, right? The
Yes.
text should be visible.
Hmm.
So same text matching in two places. So in that situation, we'll encounter a strict mode violation issue. So that one, how we are handling some, like we will pass it exact equal to true something, right? Or we'll change the locator. Sometime we, in that kind of issues, we'll change the locator. Then those kind of issue comes. Then how we are going to handle here, Keshav?
Can you give one example what you are facing? Just can you explain it a little more?
In some places before you're in the first demo, so
Okay.
morning started, right? Get by
Yes.
text, right?
Get
Something
it.
invalid lock in credential sometime. So
Correct.
in two places same text will be visible in some situation, not for all the cases, in some cases. So in
Yeah,
that
yeah. Got
situation, how
got
we
got
are.
your question. Got your question. So you mean suppose there is an application. Just let me open it. Or let me give you one example. Okay. So e-commerce site. Here I have seen you. You will be able to see the same. Okay. Manager. Yeah. So suppose same text, it is going to present at the multiple times, right? More than one times. Then how we are going to handle it? Okay, right? If I'm not wrong, this question you have.
Yes, the same. Yes,
Okay,
you're right.
so let me give you one example. So in that case, you have to construct your locator smartly. Okay, so that's why yesterday I told you whenever you will construct the locator, then in that case you have to uh, it will be always unique. Okay, suppose there is some duplicate with the text. Okay, so then definitely there will be some other validation will be also there in the locator. Suppose this is the drop down. Okay, if I will construct this drop down locator, once again, what we can say. Mm, image. Actually, I'm not able to find a duplicate, but suppose, for example, this Amazon Prime, okay, you want to validate this Amazon Prime particular one text, okay, but it's coming as a duplicate. This Amazon Prime is available at the multiple place, okay, at the same DOM, at the same page. Then how you can handle it, okay? So definitely you have
Yeah.
to travel from parent to child. So for one text, parent and child, it will not be same, okay? If even it will be the same, parent and child, when you will travel it, then definitely there will be some changes in the class, or maybe ID, or maybe in other tags, okay? So in that way you have to handle it. So you can see we have this text inside the this div class, and this div class inside this div. So in that way, you have to travel it where you have to identify the unique locator. So suppose any text is available multiple times at the same page, then definitely there will be some tag where you can find a unique locator. Okay. So in that way, you have to
Hello,
handle it.
am I audible, Kesa?
Yes, Sasank.
So I have sent a link. Can you please open that? There will be two similar elements. Just click add element. One more time, add element. One more time, add element. Yeah, there is will be two delete one.
Yeah, this is the one example. Generally, you cannot do the indexing, but in the rare case, if you are not able to identify it, then you have to do, you can do the indexing also, okay, but it's not recommended. So yeah, this is the one of the good example where you can see both the delete text at the same level. Then how you will be able to identify it? So in that way, you have to see all the parents and all the childs at the same level, right? There are nothing going to change. Then in that case, how you can identify it? So what you have to do it, suppose we want to validate the first one or maybe the last one. So you have to do it indexing. So this is the example. Okay, Control F, div. So see, this is for the entire. Then we will travel it. We need to come down here. Just 1 second. Someone is calling from group. Can somebody allow to Sunit? He's trying to join. Please allow to Sunit once he will join, okay? Because I'm sharing my screen, so I'm not able to get the notification. So please allow him. Okay. So see, this is the parent uh, uh, parent where we have to travel to the child, okay? So where we need to come in this tip, okay? And this tip is inside this tip. So we have to travel it, okay? So now we came at the place where both the buttons, and there is nothing changed in the both the buttons. So how you can identify it? Even class is same, on click is same, and also text is same. So how you can do it? So in that case, it will be very difficult, okay? So you can do like div where we have button, Okay, and then you can do like text equals to button, right? Button, oh sorry, I missed it. Text parenthesis. Okay, so now you can see it's a duplicate. Then how you can do it without indexing? So it's a duplicate, and duplicate will not you can give it, it will consider as a first element. Okay, if you want to click on the delete, but it is not recommended to give the locator which is the duplicate locator. It will be always unique, so you can do it indexing it here. Okay, you want to work with the first one, so you have to give the index. So now you can see this is the unique. If you will give the 2, then it will recognize as a second one. But generally this is not recommended indexing. If you will do work on the real time, then definitely there will be some difference, and you will be able to identify it. And there is also one way. See, you have to there is the one of the best way. If you don't want to do the indexing, you have to do the we have the get web elements, which I will explain you, where you will get the list of element, and then suppose you want to identify there should be the n number of buttons should be there, then you can verify through the for loop. I will explain you what is the get web elements and what is the for loop, how you can handle it. So these are the logics which you have to implement in the real time. So it's completely depend on the you what is your thought process in that time when you are automating it, and what is the logic you are going to apply it.
Okay, so
Yes.
So shadow DOM. So can we use JavaScript executor inside our framework?
Shadow DOM.
Yes.
Yes. Shadow DOM is a different topic. So Shadow DOM directly you will not able to recognize any locator. If any locator come inside the Shadow DOM, then Shadow DOM or iframe, there are two topics which we have to cover it separately. So suppose any locator will come in the Shadow DOM or locate or iframe. So for iframe, you can handle through the switch iframe. Okay, it will be easy. You have to go to the parent iframe, then child iframe, and then you will be able to recognize the locator. But for the Shadow DOM, you can use, as you said, like JavaScript, you can use it for the Shadow DOM. So Shadow DOM, yeah, if any locator will come inside the Shadow DOM, then you will not able to directly do any operation. So you have to use the JavaScript.
JavaScript executor we can use in
Yes.
robot framework.
Yes. We have feature. You can use it. You can use JavaScript executor in Python and also in robot framework. I hope it's clear for everyone. Thanks, Safan, for sharing that URL. Okay. So this we have covered. This is also covered. Okay. So I wanted to show you the how we can segregate our keyword, custom keyword in a separate file. Sorry, any other question, guys? Can you please allow if anyone wants to join, because I'm not getting.
We are not seeing Sumit. Only I think you can see.
Okay. Sorry.
We are not seeing Sumit. Only you can see, I think.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, let me add him. Okay.
Yeah.
He is trying to submit. Just 1 second. He is trying to join. Yes, Sunit. He is added. I added him. Sunit, you have joined or not? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, I'm connected.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I was presenting, so I was not able to get the notification. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So we are going to see like how we can do the segregate the resource file, which we have created the custom keyword. Okay. Okay. So for this login check suite, we have created this list of keywords. Okay. But how, as I told you, we cannot keep all those things in a single file. We in future, when you will do the page object model, you have to keep it all those sections separately. Test case section will be separate, variable section will be separate, and keyword section will be separate. Okay. So how you can do, how you can your methods or keywords, you can keep it separate. Okay. So only where you will keep your test case, that will be the .robot file. Rest of the file will be .resource file. Okay. And it will be the same. There will be no any difference in the icon or anything. So you have to keep all your keywords inside the resource file, .resource file. So how you can create it, and how you can keep all those your user defined keyword inside or custom keyword inside the resource file. So here I have created one, already created one auth keyword .resource. Okay. But how we can move all those methods inside this auth keyword? So let me, first of all, let me, whatever we have defined, just Control X, I'm doing it, and I will move all those methods inside the resource file. But what is the problem here? We have cut and paste everything, all the keyword which we have defined inside the resource file on the keyword section, but we have not defined the settings section, and we have not imported the Selenium library. So that's why whatever the methods coming from the Selenium library, what are the keywords coming from the Selenium library, it is showing like in red color. Okay. So we have to import first settings and then Selenium library. Now you can see all the issue has been resolved. Okay. For the keyword, but still issue is exists for the test data and URL. Okay. So we have to copy all the URLs also in the keywords. It is not something like you have defined the keywords inside your resource file, and that all the related test data and locator which is available in the test case. Okay. So how it will recognize? There are two different files. Okay. So we will copy that one also there, and in future we are going to segregate that variable also in a separate file. So I will copy all the variables from test cases. So what's going to happen here? You can say it, we have cleaned all those things only in the test case file or .robot file. Only test case will be there, nothing will be there. Okay. And settings section is required, but the Selenium library is not required. This will come under the keywords, because we are not going to write any code inside the test case. See, now you can see all the error has been resolved for the keywords also. Okay, you are getting my point, right? If you have any doubt, then please raise it. So we have kept all the keywords, user defined custom keyword, inside the resource file, and also we copied all the variables where we are using it. So this variable for the test data and locator also we have to segregate it in future. So now see, you can see it. You have segregated all the custom keyword and variables inside the resource file, but once again go to this test case file. You can see all the steps is in red line. Why is red line? if it is defined inside another file, then how it will recognize? Then we have to map this file, okay, this auth keyword dot resource, we have to map to this robot file. So this resource file will be mapped to this robot file. So this mapping will be required. So how you can do the mapping? So that mapping part, as I told you already earlier, all the mappings, all the libraries, and everything will come under the settings. So we have the settings section where we will define, we will map it, but how we can map our resource file? So there is a resource keyword, okay? So this is the resource keyword for the custom keyword for the user defined keyword, which is the resource file or robot file. You can import it as a resource file. This is not library or something. This is the resource file in robot framework, because you have defined it, and this is the robot file or resource file. So you have to import as a resource, not as a library. If you have seen, we are importing it, this is the external library, right? We have installed it, so we need to import as a library. But when you are defining it, your own robot file or resource file, then you have to import as a resource. So that is the difference between resource and library. See, right? So you have to give the path. Where is this resource file? You cannot directly give the name. So this is the parent folder, okay? So on this label, where is the resource file? So on this label, this is the directory, not this is auth keyword dot resource. So you cannot directly give this name, otherwise it will not recognize. So first we have to give the siblings. This is the resource files, okay? And then we have to give the auth keywords dot resource. So now see, all the error line has been gone. There is no any error. Now we will run it and see it's working or not. Okay, even this one, close all browser. So this call close all browser, from where it's coming? This is the part of Selenium, okay? So you can say it. Now let me run it, okay? All the test cases. Okay, so you can see all the 3 test cases have been passed. See, all the 3 test cases have been passed. So now you can see how this test case file is looking. It's very neat and clean, right? There is no any variables, there is no any methods or keyword is defined. Everything inside in a separate class. So anyone can come and see what are the test cases we are performing it here, okay? And same test case we can upload to the Zephyr or Qtos or Jira. So there will no any code will be there. Okay. So this is the one thing. I hope this resource file is clear for everyone. Now we have this locator and this test data inside the keyword, which is also not good. This should be the separate file. Then how you can separate it? So we will create another file okay, or another. First of all, we will create one directory. So you just do the right click, go to new and create one directory that is called test data dot resource. Sorry, first of all we need to create the directory test data, okay, and here we will create one another file for the variables, that is the test data or test data dot resource. So here we are defining all those test data inside the variable section, okay. So we have to define this variable section and we will copy all those test data from here. Is it twice? No, but this again it will come error, okay. Sorry, here it was variables, okay. Again this will come error because we kept all the test data inside another file. So again we have to map test data to keywords resource file where we are defining our keywords. So again we have to import as a resource, and then we will copy the path of this. Copy, this is the path, okay, and this one, okay. No, it's coming error. One second.
There would be a dot dot slash in starting.
Yeah, that also we can give. Yeah, so this is the mapping. We have to define it there. So once you will be able to navigate it, once you will do the control click. Similarly, you can create for the locator also. What we can say. Sorry, this will be inside another. Suppose login dot resource, because for each page there will be one separate resource file. Okay. So here again we will copy from here and we will keep everything inside the this located files, okay, and again you have to map it. Okay, so now you can see this is also now looking neat and clean, okay. There is no any variables inside the custom keyword. It is coming from the different files. So for the each section, for the each part, like for the test data, there is a separate data files. For the allocator, there is a separate file, and for the test case, separate file, and custom keyword, there is a separate file. And we have the proper mapping, so you will be able to log in it. You will be able to run the test case. So you can see there is no any changes. Okay, it's running fine. So that is about the resource. Okay. Now also you can do the yeah, we also you can make it parameterized, which we have already done. Where in the keyword you can pass the parameter from the variables, okay, which we have already done. This one test from the test case we have done, also from the variables, from the keyword. Now we have one important topic which is the how we can create list in robot framework. Okay, so similar to Python, we can also create a list in robot framework. As I told you, there are three kinds of variable in robot framework: scalar, list, and dictionary. So we are going to see how we can create the list. So to create the list, we have one keyword, that is the create list. The create list keyword is a robot framework, is a part of built-in library. So it will come in a built-in library. When you will go in the built-in documentation, you can see the create list. Okay, it is used to create a new list variable from the given item. Okay, it can be 0. This list you can initialize it. Okay, you can declare it, and also you can define it later. So it can be 0 or more arguments, and return the list object that can be stored in a variable for the further use. Okay, so how you can define it? So this is the create list. So using the create list, you can create a list where you can this is the empty list actually. Okay, where we are not just declaring it, but you are not defining anything inside this empty list. And this is the one list where you are adding the items. And this is the fruits as a list where you are defining apple, banana, and cherry. And there is one another keyword. We have seen the log and log to console, but there is also one another log list. So once you will do the log list, then it will print the list of item, or even it is empty, then it will give this list is empty. Okay, so let me show you how we can do it. Okay, so same example you can see. And one more thing, this is the see, this log list is a part of collection. Okay, so if you do not have imported the collection, then it will give you error. And this is the inbuilt keyword, so we can search it here. Okay, let me show you in the official documentation. So this is the create list, a return a list containing given items. The return list can be assigned both a scalar and also in the list which is starting for the @ symbol. Okay, so these are the examples where we have create list. List is a one variable where we are defining with the @, and these are the items we are adding it here. Okay, and this is the scalar one. Okay, so you can define it as a scalar also, and this will be the store the list of items. But when you will iterate with the list, then you have to always use this @. Okay, but for initializing or for calling it, you can use both. as a scalar variable. I will show you. So let me run this one example. So now you can see it. So see what it will give you. This list is empty, okay? There is nothing inside this list, empty list, and this will return you the list of item, where on the 0 index it is apple, 1 index banana, and second index is a cherry. Okay, and one more thing, with list you can do the multiple operation, okay, which is very important. So in list you can do the many operations like get length, not get length, sorry, append to this. Just I'm giving you one example. I think that is a part of collection. Okay, let me check. Yeah, that is not the built-in keyword. It's a collection keyword. Okay, so you can do the multiple operation with the list, that is append to list. Suppose any item you want to add it, okay, then you can use this append to list. So see, this is append to list, which you suppose you have already defined the one list where you have the 4 items, okay, and on top of that you want to add few items, then you need to use the append to list, and you have to give the list name, variable name, okay, and then you have to give the item, which item you want to add it. So you can add one or more than one item. Okay, this is the one example. Also there are so many. If you will go with the collection, then you will see the list of operations that you can perform with the list. You can copy it, okay, you also combine the list. So these are the operations. So I would suggest go with the documentation and see it. What are the operations you can perform it there. Now there is one important topic which is always asking in the interview: what wave element versus wave elements. Anybody has any idea on this? What is wave element and wave elements?
Web element is like nothing but like to either click a button or like to send some text where we can get the XPath.
And what is wave element? Okay, so in simple language, we can see what is wave element. So wave element will be always singular, okay, as you said, like click element or something. So this kind of operation like input text, click element, get text, uh, uh, like uh, like select checkbox, okay. So these are only happen with the singular element, okay. So it is not something like you are giving the multiple elements. You are giving the XPath which we have the multiple elements. So that will be a singular, okay. So wave element will be always single. That will refer only a single element on the web page. So refers to the one specific element on the web page like a button, text box or link. Okay, so this will be always singular element. In robot framework, when you use the standard keyword like input text, click element, get text, you pass the locator like ID or XPath, that will be always unique. Robot framework automatically find the first matching wave element on the web page and perform the action. Suppose you are giving the you are giving the locator XPath or anything, any locator which has the duplicate elements, okay, more than one element, then in that case always it will recognize the first element and it will perform the operation with the first element. So maybe if you are giving the duplicate, then where you want to give the input or you want to click, maybe it will not do as per the expectation, okay. So whenever you will do the get, we will work with the web element, then you have to always provide the singular, that will be the unique element. So this is the one example of one operation, that is the click element with the singular or web element, okay. What is web elements? So it's a completely opposite to web element. So in web elements, basically it will be the refers to the collection or list of multiple HTML elements, okay, that will match the exact same locator. This is incredible useful when you are dealing with the dynamic pages that have the repeating items such as all product titles on an e-commerce site. See, in web elements, it will be the group of element, okay. It can be one element and it can be more than one element. So any X path which is referring more than one element, that will be the web elements. So how you will handle it, okay. So for example, suppose any e-commerce site. So in e-commerce site, you will see the list of menus, right? So that menu, maybe sometime it will be 5 menus, sometime it will be the 6, 7, 10, okay. So dynamically that list is going to change. So in that case, how you will handle it? So you can handle through the web elements. Or suppose any rows in a table, okay. So rows will not be fixed, okay. It will change as per the requirement. So in that case also you have to handle with the web elements. Or like navigation menus which is available in application. Sometimes like for now it's a 4 navigation menus, but in future few of the new feature will be introduced and it will be added there. That will be also dynamic elements, so you can handle with the web elements. So how you can handle the web elements? So there is a keyword that is called the get web elements, okay, in robot framework. So in robot framework you have a specific keyword get web elements to capture all these items at once, okay. Instead of returning a pieces of text or clicking something, it returning the Python list containing internal Selenium element objects. So how you can do it? So see, suppose this is the X path, so you can use get web elements and it will store as a list. So list of item will be there, list of elements will be there. So this will be the list. So we are considering at the rate, okay. So let me give you one example. Okay, maybe I will give you together all the examples like get element, get web elements, and also there is one topic that is the for loop. So we can combinedly cover it. Let me go with the PPT. Okay, this is the differences between the web element and web elements. So what it represents, one unique item on the page, okay. So it will be always unique locator, and this will be the group of matching items. Okay, there is one question. Can anybody tell me what exception will come if it will for the web element and for the web elements if it is not matching?
So no element found, a null value.
Suppose there is no element, there is no any single element available, then in web element what it will come?
No element found.
No such element, okay. And in web elements?
Null pointer exception.
No, usually we'll get unable to find the element, because if it is having the same ID or the class, right, it will not find.
There will be no exception in get web elements.
Correct, absolutely right. So for the web element, you said all three correct said it correctly. Okay, but for the wave element there will not be any exception. Okay, if suppose there will not be any matching element, then in that case also it will not give you exception, it will be empty list. Okay, so that is the beauty of wave elements. It can be 0 or more than one element, one or more than one elements. Okay, so there will not be any exception in the wave elements. So if there is no any matching element, then it will, that list will be empty, but in that case you will get the exception. Okay, in Selenium. And this is the stored as a scalar variable. This will be stored as a list variable. Primary keyword use, that is the what operation we can do it, that is the get text, click element, and input text. And this is the keyword get wave elements. So when you will use the get wave elements, and if there is no any matching, then that particular variable will be empty, but there will not be any exception. How it is interacts, perform an action immediate on that particular one item, and it used paired with the for loop. You can use with the for loop and you can match it, and also directly without the for loop you can give the index and you can match it. Okay, so for loop how we can use in robot framework. Robot framework also has the feature where you can use the for loop. So this for loop is used to repeat the action for each item in list. Okay, it helps automate the repetitive task like clicking multiple buttons or validating the multiple values. Okay, so that purpose we need to use the for loop. So this is the syntax of for loop. So you have to do for, there will be one you have to item which will come from the list, and it will iterate with the list. So each and every item will be iterated, and that will be available in this item, and that item you can use it in the inside the for loop body. So this is the one example. Okay, see, for el is one element, a scalar variable which is coming from this list of item where it's iterating one by one, and where we are clicking it, the click element. But generally in real time directly you cannot click it, you have to verify that particular option is matching or not, and then only you can click it. So first of all it will get the wave elements. Okay, here is the get wave elements. This is the CSS selector. For XPath or any other locator you can pass it, and then you can iterate with the list of element. So that for list of element you have to perform some particular assertion, and then you can perform the action. This is, so here is the few examples that so how we can iterate with the so how we can iterate with the multiple web elements. Okay, so this is the one basic example. We can see it like this is the URL. Okay, sorry. So this is the one application. Okay, so you can see these are the n number of like 4 navigation link is there. Then how can iterate with this navigation? Suppose I want to print this navigation. Okay, this navigation, what are the navigation available in the web page? Okay, generally in real time what you will do, you will check, you will get the web elements. Okay, because these are the dynamic elements. It can be 4 or it can be 5, 6, 7. Okay, when any new feature will be added. So this is the dynamic element where it will iterate, and when it will match, suppose I want to navigate with numbers. Okay, so once it will match with the numbers, then it will click on the numbers. Okay, because if we will fix it, we will do the hard code as index 3, then definitely if any new feature will be added, then it will impact our test case. So in that way we need to handle the dynamic elements. So if how we can identify these web elements with one single elements. Okay, so let me show you. See, we will go with the parent. See, this is the navigation. Okay, this is the one single, this is the one single. Okay, but how we can get at a one time all the elements? So this is the class where we have the navigation. Okay, div @class. This XPath you are getting it, okay, or not? Please let me know, because this is important. Without XPath you cannot automate the web application. Whatever you have learned, if you are not able to construct the XPath, it will be waste. So more focus on the XPath. Without XPath, nothing, you cannot do anything. So here you can see inside the div there is a class. So only text you cannot start with the @ symbol, but any ID class or any link or any other tag you have to start with the tags, and exactly we are matching with the navigation. So we have used the equals to, and you can keep it this navigate class name here inside the single quotes or double quotes, and these all things will be available inside the square bracket. And this XPath will always start from the double slash. Okay, so you can see this is the unique element. Okay, so for this element this is the unique this is the unique element. Okay, this is the unique element where we have all the navigation, but we don't want the unique. Okay, we want where it will recognize each and every element, each and every navigation. So we will travel it. Okay, but we will not fix any text like domain or number. So how we will get it? We have to travel one by one. So we have ul and then li. Okay, so what is this? This is the link. So we have to travel till the link a. Okay, so if I will fix it as a domain, then it will be recognized only as one single navigation, but we don't want to fix it. Okay, we want all the dynamic element. So if any new feature will be introduced, then it will not impact our test case. So this is the you can see there are 4 locators, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so in this way we can use the web elements. So see, we are opening the browser, same, where we are providing the URL and browser name, then it will maximize. Okay, now we are creating a list. Okay, so this is the list name. So as I told you, list name you can start with the @ symbol. See, this is the list, but you will say why we are starting as a scalar variable. But you can declare or define a list variable as a scalar also, which will work. Okay, there is no any issue, but it will be the list only because we are creating list. This is just name. Okay, and now now we are doing get web elements. Okay, so get web elements, this is the empty list for now. There is nothing inside it because we have not defined the items. Okay, so this is empty list, and this is the get web elements. So get web elements, why we are doing get web elements? So we are we are doing the get web elements for this locator. So where we have defined it, this navigation. So here we have defined it. So this will be the get web elements where it will store how many locator will be stored. Can anyone tell me? 4 locator will be stored here, okay, not a single locator when it will run in the runtime. So it will have the 4 locators. Now how we can iterate with the list of item, okay. So in for loop, this is the for loop, you know this is the syntax for. So whenever you will start the for loop, you have to end it, okay, otherwise it will give you the syntax error. So this is the syntax for end. So whenever you will start the for, you have to end it after your operations, sorry. So you can see when you will iterate it, you have to always iterate at the @ symbol, because this is the list, not the single one, not the similar, okay. It has the multiple items element. So we will iterate with the list here. We are defining it as a similar, okay, a scalar variable, but when you will iterate, then you have to use the list variable. So it will iterate with the each and every item. It will iterate how many times this loop will run? 4 times, because it has the 4 items, okay. So what we are doing, so for the one item there will be one element. So first element will be for the domain, okay, but that is the locator, okay. We are not getting the text or anything. So what we will do, we will do the get text. So for the first locator, where is the first locator? This is the first locator where we have the domain. So how it will get the text? This is just we have defined the locator, but we are not getting the text. So we have the get text method, get text keyword, okay. So through the get text, whatever it will be available in the text, that will be retrieved, okay. So from the first element, it will retrieve the first get text. So it will have the domains once it will, and domains, and that domain we are going to add it in the empty list. So this is the list which we have defined. So append to list is the operation which we can do with the list. So for now this is empty list, but we have extract the text from the first element, and that first element text we are going to append to this empty list. So one by one this will run at 4 times. So 4 times it will retrieve the text from this element, and it will store in this empty list, okay. So this empty list will have the four navigation: domain, products, numbers, and about. So let me print this one. So now this time, now it has the 4 items, and we will iterate with these 4 items, okay. So these are the options, okay, and we are iterating with this product list, okay, and it will print log to console and whatever you want to do. Found the navigation found, navigation found, okay. And also you can do log. So it will also print in the terminal, and also will print in the report, okay. Okay, and this is a tear down. It will close the browser once everything will be done. So let me run it. You can see we have used log to console, right? So it's printing here. This is the domain, navigation found, domain, protocol, numbers, about, okay. And this will also show in the report because we are logging it, printing it in the reports also. So let me open this one. See, in log to console you will not see anything. It will only print in the terminal, but in log you can see it. This is the navigation found, domains, okay. Similarly for the products, and then it's closing the browser. So we covered 3 things: web elements, and the for loop. Okay, and also we are doing the operations with the list. So these 4 things we have covered. So is it clear for everyone? Can you please confirm someone? Sunit. Sunit, thanks everyone for responding. Yeah, I hope it's clear for everyone. Sasank, Bhagwati. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Okay. So we have already like 10-20 around. So actually I wanted to cover a few more things, but due to the time constraint, like yes, we are already running out of time. So anyone has any question, whatever I have covered till? Okay, if no question, then okay. So basically there are one more thing, like we need to learn like how we can create a framework, and also I wanted to cover the API part, but unfortunately we do not have much time, so I did not go with the API. But also you can use it, you can explore it, go with the request library, okay, and try to do the some HTTPS method, that is the get, post, put, and patch. Okay, so you will get an idea how it works in the robot framework. So before proceeding with the next slide, can I take one photo to everyone? If anyone can come on the camera, then please turn on the camera. I will capture one photo, so it will be a memory for us. If you are comfortable, then please come. I will take one photo. Okay, no issue. So let me capture it.